So Eric Beimfor and myself came up with this concept a couple weeks ago where we drafted all four sports at the same time, and we called it a draftcathlon, and it was a nightmare. So what do? I invite my new friend John Daigle on to join us in this shit show. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Well, Mr. Daigle, I appreciate you joining us today. And before we were going to, we do the little intro, we talk to each other. I thought we were going to bond over wrestling or something with WrestleMania weekend just happening. But I saw you tweet something, and I don't like to put people on the defensive immediately, but I need you to talk me through not liking macaroni and cheese.
Oh, the food hot take. That's always the one that gets double take. So I figured since that was popular, and I usually don't do the engagement farm thread of the day, I try to, if anything, stay away from as much engagement as possible, unless people bombard my DMs, and there are lots of friends I now talk to who I have yet to meet. But I just have never, this goes back to my childhood. There were two foods I never enjoyed whatsoever. They were mac and cheese and spaghetti. And I also like cheese. I like charcuteries. I like blue cheese is actually my favorite, the most pungent one for whatever reason, because it's extra salty. You can put it on a lot of things and just allow the saltiness to take over. But for some reason, mac and cheese, and I've tried all kinds. I've tried your lobster macs. I've tried homemade. I've tried breading as the crust. I've tried it all, and mac and cheese just doesn't do it for me. Everyone's like favorite, because everyone has a favorite like shitty chain, right? Like mine is Chili's. I understand they freeze everything. Don't care at all. If you just want me to have the best trashy meal possible, I will always take you up on a night out at Chili's, especially because they allow you to like shake your own margarita and the blue things, then pour out your Patron. It's great. But everyone then usually goes to Panera mac and cheese. And that's like the worst one I've ever had. It's like liquidy.
Panera.
It's like liquidy as well. It's white. It's just weird. And so no, not a big mac and cheese fan at all. I will never order it ever.
All right. So like it makes sense, because if you told me that you loved macaroni or pasta or spaghetti and you don't like mac and cheese, then that doesn't make sense. That's like, I hate onions, right? I don't like onions on anything. Don't give me an onion. I will lose my mind. But you know what I want? I want a whole basket of onion rings. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't. But I love onion rings. But not liking pasta, that goes in line with not mac.
So I will say I've come around on spaghetti and pasta. And that's because like as a kid, I grew up in small town Texas. My mother, bless her soul, which is what we also say whenever we just feel sorry for someone. She only knew Cajun food, and that's not really a lot of pasta, but it was more like boiling it. I would tell anyone, and some people you meet who don't like Italian, and then I just challenge them and say, that means you probably haven't had Italian, right? You haven't had the proper pasta that melts in your mouth like butter, because that's when my life changed. It's like one of the baptismal moments of food. It's when you have proper pasta. You're like, there's no way anyone cannot like this.
Yeah, you got to come to New England or New York for pasta.
Yeah,
I liked Mexican food before I went to the Southwest, and then I went to Texas twice in my life, once for WrestleMania a couple of years back, and we had a Mexican restaurant outside of our hotel, and we ate there 3 times because it is unlike any Mexican food that's up here. Like I'll still eat it up here, but man, it is insane how much better the Mexican food is down in the Southwest area.
I thought you were going to tell me you hated it more, and there is a big difference there. So admittedly, and it's maybe because I grew up with it, right? It's the covet what we see thing. Like even if people don't grow up with the prairies and the outback of Texas, everyone's now moving there. It's created Silicon Valley, unfortunately, but everyone's moving there because it's something different. Whereas I grew up with that countryside, and so that's like the last thing I want. I now live downtown Chicago. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. I'm trying to deal with winter, even though I still bitch about it all the time. But
shitty deep dish feature.
But the Mexican, it's just the Mexican food there is just heavier, greasier, and cheesier. And so I still prefer my authentic whether you get it from New Mexico or on West Coast as well. Great for it. Chicago, there's also some areas like the Berwyn, Oak Brook suburbs areas that the Mexican food is just incredible. But yeah, when you get south, it's just denser and heavier, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just grew up with it, so that's why I get it only when I go back.
I feel you, man. Bime4 says that he 100% hates onions as well, but loves onion rings. So maybe that's not a hot take. And just to end this food talk, the time I went when I was like 12 years old, I went to this little town outside of Laredo. The population was under 100. Just small town. Went and got this breakfast burrito at this little like convenience store shack thing. And I remember that breakfast burrito over 20 years later, how good that breakfast burrito was. And I just want it again.
Are you the type of person that when you travel, you will eat whatever is like customary? Like you'll still try something even though you don't like it? Or are you the individual that like knows what you like, you have preferences, and even when you go out, like if you go to New York knowing they have the best pizza, even if you don't like cheese pizza or whatever, you're just not going to try it because you don't think you like, real pizza?
Oh no, I'll eat it, but New England has better pizza than New York.
That's totally fine. We don't have to have that discussion. But that's the respect right there. Yeah, because I do know a lot of people who they don't like something, and when they go out of their way to like even where it may be the best, they still assume they don't like it, and that's what frustrates me. Because I'm a big try literally anything and everything.
So when I eat Mexican, I even like get the pico de gallo with the onions in it because I don't want to be that guy that's like, no, take the onions out of that. And like, I'd be a monster. So I deal with it on certain things like that. The only other thing I won't eat is green beans because green beans are disgusting. So as long as it doesn't have that, I'm good. And, but yeah, I want to try everything. You come to New England, you got to have seafood, right? You go to the Southwest, you have Mexican. I mean, as much as I joke about it, you go to Chicago, you have to try a deep dish pizza.
I take an annual trip every end of July with Peter Overzet, Rich Rebar, Denny Carter, and Pat Thorman. I'm trying to think if I miss anyone. No, and their families and children. And we go to Cape Cod for like a week. Some can only come for a couple days. Previously, I was just single, no kids. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go for the whole week with Pat. No big deal in his family. And we pretty much make it a point, all of us, to eat a lobster roll at least once a day, and then at a different spot, like to try every single lobster roll New England has to offer.
Well, next time you come to Cape Cod, let me know. I'll come have a drink with you because I am about 30 minutes away. So, all right, there's the food talk. Now you should definitely like and subscribe to the Spike Week Show podcast. Speaking of podcast, I'm going to put it out there now. This is going to be tough to listen to on a podcast. Mm-hmm. We've done this before. So the basic gist of this is what I've gotten you into. This is a draftcathlon. We are going to register for 4 different tournaments at the same time, and we're going to draft them all at the same time. What happened to me and Bime4 last time is they all filled immediately, and so everything kicked off at the same time. All hell broke loose. We managed to do it, and we try to have a little bit of theory talk behind what we're doing. So I'm going to be looking to you to try to
so I thought about this because the mistake is, and sometimes I get too aggressive. The issue with being an ambitious, adventurous person is that sometimes you get it wrong. No big deal. But when you asked me what I wanted to do, I mean, I just thought ahead to the next 6 months, the long exodus of the offseason, and thought, how many like best ball drafts, how many shows? I'll even come back next month if you want and talk football strictly and do a best ball draft. But really, how often? And the answer is never am I going to get a chance to do the decathlon. And Spike Week is the only one offering it. So here we are. Let's go to hell.
We try to do some stuff that's a little bit different and a little bit more fun.
I love it. I love the idea. It's going to be chaos. I can't promise I'm going to give the best spin for everything we do. I also, you can explain, the rules, and then I will tell you actually which sports I don't watch.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask you. I was going to say, before we start, what sport? I mean, obviously football, that's both of our sport. We're both football guys.
Yeah.
Where are you on basketball?
Love basketball, and I used to be one of the hardcore cash players in the FanDuel streets, as well as Draft Street and Star Street. But once you had to once I had to use my brain power strictly for football at that time of the year, you obviously have to be plugged into NBA day to day, especially playing cash games, because it's just a 1v1 all the time. Unless it's perhaps 2v2. Nowadays, it got even sharper. So I just stopped playing altogether. So now I'm admittedly not plugged in. I love the sport. I know the superstars. I know some role players, but I can't name starting fives anymore like I used to.
Yeah, I'm the same way. About 3 years ago, I fell off of basketball when I stopped playing the DFSs. Not that I was a hardcore grinder of NBA DFS, but I played weekly, about 3 nights a week. So I'm not as good as I was in that. Even worse for me, where are you on baseball? Because I know nothing.
Nope. Good luck. I know. I think I'm supposed to draft Shohei Ohtani with the first pick. If we have the first pick, then maybe Mike Trout, even though he's injured. And then I know Tatis is injured. And those are, I could probably name more players, but we would need another 5 minutes in this intro for me to get there.
Oh, I can't. So don't feel bad. And this is the one that shocks me. Both times we've done this, the people that come out the most are the hockey people. It blows my mind. They're like, we can't wait for you to do this. We need more plus EV hockey drafts. And I'm like, well, you're going to get it because A, I don't know anything about hockey. And B, I'm just going to want to draft Bruins. And C, do you know hockey players? Because
no, unfortunately.
You're supposed to know lines, not even just hockey players. You're supposed to know lines.
Unfortunately, I am blind in that spot too. I've attended a DK Live final. I think it was 2017 in San Diego. Maybe that's where we were at. And I'm friends with a lot of the pro NHL DFS players, especially the old school guys. But actually knowing hockey knowledge, nope, not a chance.
All right, so let's register for these just to get these started.
It's going to be a disaster. This is going to be a disaster.
Oh, it's going to be a nightmare. That's what we do, though. So I'm registering baseball and football first. I had this all planned out. We're going to do basketball down here. I didn't register because I'm an idiot.
Eagles, of course, is in the stream.
Of course,
he's in every football draft I'm in. Like even just slow playing on a weekend, trying to get the ADP right in my head so I know what I'm talking about and stay in the streets. And Eagles just is in every single draft. That dude doesn't stop grinding.
All right, all these hockey players. We need 4 more for a draft in hockey.
Everyone's terrified of hockey.
Everyone. I mean, these all filled at the same time last time. We have of course, the nice thing for us is we have the turn pick at 12 in football, so that'll help a little bit. But we still
it's a super flex too. You said right?
Yep, the super flex.
Cool.
Go
ahead.
Are you doing super flexes at all?
That's all I'm doing right now. Just because structurally we probably still have an edge right now if we're playing 12 teams, but there was so much movement and whatnot that I didn't want to take a chance on it this early. And also, a couple. If we can say the last 3 years, going back before that too, but the last 3 years in particular, you could still get an edge on drafting rookies, hoping for the ADP bump. Like everyone's too sharp on underdog now. I don't even think that's existing. Like Breece Hall, in my opinion, isn't even a 3-down option that should be going ahead of Cam Akers and a few others that are going behind them. Leonard Fournette, James Conner, and everyone's drafting Breece Hall as a top 14, top 15 guy, and it's well. He could have an 8-week stretch there where he's a 3-down option. He could get Javonte Williams because he's only 2.
I have to interrupt you because we are on the clock in basketball.
Oh God, here we go. See, it's already behind.
We have Embiid on board. We have Devin Booker on board. We have Jokic on board. We have Tatum on board.
I am going to go Booker because the West sucks and I know the Suns are good.
That's, what's funny is I was looking at Booker and I was hoping you'd want to go there as well, because that way we can at least do a Phoenix stack and then figure out what we want to do with the Eastern Conference. The one thing I know about basketball is we kind of want a team stack. Well, I think this is kind of the play with all sports in the playoff best ball is you kind of want to get a team that's going to obviously get through to the final. So that's
I also saw good friend Mike Leone's tweet recently that the Nets are being the Nets are not a contrarian option. They are being stacked too much right now. So let's avoid the Nets. How about that? How do we fade the Nets? Celtics, Sixers?
Well, Celtics is always going to be my choice, sir.
I've heard they're good.
They're pretty good this year. I've watched about 4 seconds of them and I was impressed. So yeah, that's what we can do if we can get that. But Tatum's already off the board. He's been going pretty early.
Okay.
But we can see what comes around over here.
Right now we only have football and basketball.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Good.
All these hockey bros that were talking all this trash about this positive EV. They're not.
Everyone knows Everyone knows I'm still working up my cardio. I'm running a marathon with Leone actually in Buffalo at the end of May.
Really?
I'm not there yet. So everyone's letting me have a slow start to the decathlon. This is good.
How many miles are you getting in right now?
We are 2 months out. No, we're 2 months out. I can run 5 to 7. I'm going for a 9-minute pace is the issue here. And I can go 5 9-minute strong, but I don't want to slip beyond 10 minutes. So I'm kind of speed training right now.
Okay. Do we want to go Drew Holiday? Not that I'm ignoring you, but we are 8 seconds away from picking. And we'll just take the Milwaukee. We'll try to get a Milwaukee stack.
Underdog tells me he's on the Bucks, so sure.
Let's do that. Exactly. So the baseball one did fill. Also, by the way, that's super impressive that you're running a marathon.
Well, trying. Let's not give me an award yet. Trying to is the key here.
I mean, trying to is better than 95% of us. So we are going to be 101 in baseball.
Oh, really? I know a player. There you go.
It's looking like Juan Soto is the consensus number 1. We are on the clock in football right now. So, I mean, we can still go Ohtani.
All right, Superflex, I do know because I'm in those streets a lot.
All right, we got 20 seconds in Superflex and we got 24 seconds in baseball.
I want quarterback and McCaffrey.
All right, so I'm going to click on McCaffrey. I'm going to let that expire. Do we want to go Ohtani just to have fun?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take Ohtani.
I can't even pick Juan Soto. I have a one-person lineup. So we're going Ohtani.
That works. All right. So now we're looking at a quarterback. You said we have Hurts, we have Brady. We can draft that backup quarterback, Trey Lance, if you want, but that's what we're looking at right now.
Lance would not come back to us. I will go Brady.
Oh, thank God. If you said Lance, I was probably going to projectile vomit onto my screen.
I mean, I do like Lance, but that's still too early even for me. They're taking it easy on us on hockey.
Eagle says that we're weak and that we should jump into
it. If you could fit it on this screen, I would do that.
I mean, I have a rather large screen because of all the freaking video editing I do. I bought this massive.
I had to full screen this so I could read every player correctly.
It's hard enough to do 4. So, I mean, Eagles, give us some credit, man. We're doing 4 different drafts. Well, we're trying to. Nobody wants to jump in the NHL. I'm going to talk so much shit to all the NHL guys.
If you want to, like, NHL, give it like another minute or so, because rookies and sophomores is so quick of a draft. I don't mind like jumping over and adding that in place of NHL, even though that's not the true decathlon test.
We are coming up in NBA. Bimefor says it triggers him every time I call Lance a backup.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That was a little frustrating, but I let it slide off my shoulders.
All right, so who did we get in the first round? I already forget. We were trying to do a Phoenix stack here.
Yes, Phoenix and Bucks.
All right, so not looking good for us here.
We can still take others that we at least think make the conference.
We have 3 guards. Do we want to grab a Draymond Green for the wing?
Sure.
It's so hard, man. I think we auto picked one here.
I know these players.
It worked out. We auto picked Steph Curry.
We know what we're doing. There you go.
Yeah. So we auto picked Steph Curry. So now we have a Golden State stack.
I'll stack the Golden State. That's okay.
That works. We are going to be coming right back up. We are on basketball again. I am going to scroll and see. We can get Cam Johnson from Phoenix. Do we want to do?
Is he starting? Does he come off the bench?
I would assume he's starting if he's getting an ADP of 33.
Sure. Star him.
Let's do it. All right.
Bimefor's in this MLB one. Bimefor's trying to get this EV right now.
Trying to get this free money from us. Just paying the rake. We need one more for hockey.
Co-CEO trying to get EV on his own company.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, dude, just looking for a reason to kick me while I'm down trying to do these 4 drafts.
All right, football, we're still safe.
So we got lucky by getting the 12th pick in football, I would say.
Yeah.
If we're doing these, we want the 1 or the 12. When you're in the middle, that's when all hell breaks loose.
That's probably what Eagles wanted. And Gym City Grind, I see him in the chat. They wanted us to get in the middle, but we have time to think about our decisions here. And we're 1 away from hockey as well.
Yeah, 1 away from hockey. So somebody jump in, fill up this hockey. Even if you don't know hockey, it's easy.
You have a better chance than us, honestly.
It's true. Eagle says, Daigle, you're on more podcasts than
That
I
is
am in
true.
drafts.
That is true.
Yeah, but this is the
And
important one.
and rumor has it, you heard it here on Spike Week First, is that I'm probably about to get a USFL podcast as well, Eagle. So
let's do it. Let's do the USFL.
So I'm about to be on even more podcasts throughout the week. There's no off season. There literally isn't an off season now.
There not anymore, man. Like best ball has come and taken any off season that you wanted. Like, because for me, it used to be 3 months. I get 3 months of not worrying about things.
Mm-hmm.
Then the NFL draft would happen, and then I'd start looking into stuff. And yeah, so we are on the clock in basketball. So we can. What do we want to do here? We can go Bobby Portis for Milwaukee. I think he's coming off the bench. Oh, or we can go JaVale. Let's get our big. Let's grab McGee from Phoenix.
Does he play more than like 11 minutes nowadays? Because when I watched basketball religiously, he was like a 8 minutes off the bench guy for energy, like the Mark Madsen of the Lakers.
You've made me change my mind, and we grabbed Jordan Poole.
Okay.
So we've swapped to a Golden State stack there. We are on the clock in baseball. We have 10 seconds.
George Springer. There you go. He's at the top. He looks good.
And then we are right back on it in baseball because we have the turn pick. So
we're supposed to be stacking, right? So we have Ohtani, Springer.
Mm-hmm.
What about Hernandez? He's right there. He's on Toronto. That's a stack.
All right, let's do it. So we're going outfield heavy on this team. We have 3 outfielders.
Is that optimal? Do you know what optimal is in baseball?
I know that stacking is so I'll talk about strategy on baseball in a second from what I know, but we are on the clock in basketball. We are going to take Brooke Lopez for Milwaukee. I'm sorry, I'm making that executive decision.
It's okay.
And what do we want to do in hockey with 8 seconds?
Yeah, him.
So I know Colorado is one of the 2 Western Conference teams you want in hockey. So we'll grab the winger.
Is this hockey playoffs or like rest of season hockey?
Hockey playoffs.
Okay. How far away is the hockey playoffs?
Oh, that dude, I didn't research that much.
Okay, I don't know. I have no idea. I do watch hockey during the playoffs. It's fun.
I do too. I watch a ton of Bruins.
Still the best sport to watch live. Hockey is the absolute greatest. Maybe NASCAR, but hockey's amazing.
As much as I love football, I hate going to NFL games.
Oh, football games are the worst. Silva always like asking me to go. 1, I can't because I work on Sundays, but 2, it's like no, I literally don't want to be caught dead in a football game.
We are on the clock in football.
Okay. We had yes. I will go Stephon Diggs.
I love it. Do you want to scroll?
Let the clock run out. And then hold on, who do we have already?
So we have McCaffrey, Brady, and we have Diggs.
Okay. What are the remaining quarterbacks?
We are looking at Tannehill, Matt Ryan, Zach Wilson, Jones.
Let's push it one more time, and that's probably not going to be good, but let's push it one more time. And let's go CeeDee Lamb or A.J. Brown.
It's a fun debate.
They're both like arguably top 5 or 6. Julio Jones' absence, that's the thing. Doesn't matter at all. Let's go A.J. Brown. Maybe wrong, but A.J. Brown.
I like both of them. Like it just depends on. You can close your eyes and pick one of those 2 right now.
A.J. Brown had a 30% plus target share in 5 games that Julio played. Like Julio Jones doesn't matter to that offense whatsoever. Robert Woods makes more of an impact than Julio at this stage of their career.
And it might just help A.J. Brown, to be honest, having Robert Woods on the field. So, all right, where are we at here? We're looking at 2 away in hockey.
Everything.
We're looking at 1 away in NBA.
All right, let's focus on stacks here in NBA.
Which we have our Western Conference. I don't hate our team because we got Phoenix, Golden State, but we also have Milwaukee. So that feels good.
So we have JaVale McGee if we need a backup big.
Yep.
Are we on the clock here on the bottom right in hockey?
Yeah. You want to grab Austin Matthews?
We can start a Colorado stack. Don't we already have Colorado?
Oh, we could do that. You want to do that?
Yep. My head, playing so much basketball, my head will click stacks immediately. The players, though, you pick whichever one looks better than there.
All right. So we'll grab a center because that feels right. Okay. So basketball, are we going McGee here?
Yeah, I don't know how important it is to grab backup bigs in postseason basketball, but they play in different conferences. That seems good, right?
Feels good. I feel like having. Okay, before we go there, All right, so we have our Colorado stack. We can grab another Colorado winger if we want.
Sure, let's do that. Do they play at the same time? We both don't know that answer, right?
That I don't know.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate.
So I would assume that our center has to play with at least one of these wings. Would be my assumption.
Hopefully, both of them. Let's just assume that both
would be amazing. We would already win. We'd have all the money at this point. Eagles is in this draft, so he came to get the free money.
It's free money. You might as well.
Felix, the Millie winner from Underdog, is also in it, and Beimfor is in the hockey draft, so he doesn't know anything either. So that feels good.
We are just getting exploited. Is what we're doing.
We are back on the clock in NBA.
Okay, feels like we got something going on.
Not seeing a lot of guys for our teams towards the top. Do we want to grab some Eastern Conference guys here?
Yeah. Isn't Scotty Barnes going to be like Rookie of the Year or no?
He could be.
That could be a very ignorant question. I actually don't know.
I don't, dude. No, there are no ignorant questions when we're doing a Draftcathlon, especially for sports that we don't know. He could be the Rookie of the Year this year and next year if he wants to be.
He won me a lot of money being a top 5 pick. I know that.
There you go.
I respect him.
All right. So I feel like I'm ignoring some of your questions, and I apologize to you and the chat.
I have the chat closed, and I don't apologize. This is too much right now.
But there is a lot going on, such as somebody saying this shit is getting confusing for me. Yeah, dude, it's tough. I can't focus on all these screens, animals. Yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to do that.
Try drafting a team with them.
Yeah. So we're coming up on the clock in baseball, where we have the turn pick, which is nice.
Okay.
And we're going to be on the clock soon, and hockey, which we have a pick, and then we almost wrap. We got 2 picks in between us on that.
We got a Colorado defender at the top in hockey.
We got a defender and a winger from Colorado.
But we already have 2 wings, so if we draft another one, that guarantees, right, that one of them isn't playing.
I mean, we should probably grab Stamkos from Tampa Bay as well. So we should probably grab one of these Colorado guys.
If you think he's good, let's do that.
All right, so let's grab a defender.
That gives us 4 Avalanche players.
Yep.
And then we get your boy, Stamkos.
If we get him, yeah, that would be the way to go.
And that's okay.
All right, we are on the clock in baseball with 13 seconds left. So we have 3 outfielders. We have 8 seconds. It's looking like Simeon, Brian Reynolds are at the top.
Simeon's fine. I know he got paid a lot of money.
Well, then we're going to take him. I'm trying to keep an eye. We are on the clock in baseball again. Do we want to grab a pitcher, or do we want to just keep pushing pitcher?
Oh, that's good strategy talk. I don't know.
We are on the clock in 3 sports right now, by the way.
Let's grab the first pitcher at the top of baseball.
Okay.
Let's go to hockey.
We're good in hockey. We're going to get Stamkos.
Let it run.
And basketball, we can. It's gross in basketball. What is our build right now? We 4-3-2. We're gonna auto draft. It happens.
Take Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, we took.
That's
Brunson.
Okay. They should make it out of the first round at least.
I should have panicked and just picked. Oh, we finished basketball, so that's fun. So we will go over the basketball team in a second. I don't think it's bad. I think we did fine. We had 3 different teams that we stacked. I don't think that's terrible.
And we stacked 2 teams from opposite conferences. Those were our heavy stacks, Milwaukee and Phoenix. So that's okay.
Right. With the Golden State stack as well. So I'm for it.
That's okay.
Golden State and Phoenix make it to the finals if that's a possibility. Then, to the Western Conference Finals.
That's definitely a possibility.
That we're looking fantastic.
And we can attribute the decathlon.
That's right. Imagine shipping a tournament from one of these drafts. Like, the amount of swagger we would have just walking into any room would be insane.
As someone who did a lot of FFPC drafts and streams last year in the offseason in Underdog, I had to go back and the different team names and whatnot and configure, okay, I'll still Venmo this person $12 or whatever if we won. Those stream teams do not go well most of the time, just to let you know.
Not unless you're over Zed and Beimfor.
That's true, yeah.
They just go and finish freaking 10th in Best Ball Mania. We are going to be on the clock in football, my happy space.
All right, we tested quarterback. We're going to have to look at it now.
So we got Matt Ryan, who I don't hate as much as some people do. I think Indy's a good spot for him.
Mhm.
We are on the clock in hockey as well. I am.
We are done with Colorado players. We already have 4.
Yep. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab Marchand.
You know him. I know you know him.
I know him. I played poker with him.
Oh. Okay.
Shit. What are we doing in?
Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. Start there.
All right, let's go Daniel Jones. And
then we're gonna test one more run at quarterback. So we're gonna go look at running backs and look at wide receivers.
Okay. So oops.
Look at running backs. Goodness gracious. Look at wide receivers.
13 seconds. Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Judy, Moore.
I'll just go Keenan Allen. Just Keenan Allen. It's fine. We'll keep it easy.
All right, Keenan Allen.
Not sexy. It's fine.
I don't draft him too much, but I'm fine with it. And we're gonna go with Patrice Bergeron in hockey just to start a Boston stack.
Sure. Just for you.
Well, sort of for me, sort of because they're playing well, and the Tampa stuff is all gone.
And I don't have a better answer, so that's fine.
So I don't think they play on the same line anymore is something that I did find out, but who knows? I think they're on the power play together.
All right, coming up in baseball.
Coming up in baseball. Are we?
No, maybe baseball? Not.
We are. All right. So we have like a second to breathe right now. So let's get there. All right. So we got a comment in the chat that said Bergeron with Marsh is well played, sir. So we're really getting trolled hard.
We know that.
We actually did something good.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming we did something good. So I'm going to take the compliment. We will be on the clock in baseball. Let's take a look at our baseball team because I don't even know what the hell we've done here.
We've done a Toronto. Well, we didn't really do a stack. Did we just grab 2 outfielders and call it a stack?
I guess we'll call that a mini stack, a skinny stack in baseball, right?
Yeah.
We got. You picked a pitcher that I can't say his name. Sandy Alcantara in Miami.
Yep.
We have Marcus Semien in Texas for our infielder. We have Ohtani, George Springer, and Hernandez for our outfield. So where are you looking here? Do you think that we should be pushing pitcher still? I've seen some of the strategy talk where people are pushing pitcher and just loading up on infield and outfields. I don't know if that's good. I haven't played enough baseball. It feels bad, but that could be wrong.
Outfield, wouldn't that be like the running back position where there's so many they're replaceable?
That's what I think.
Or is it top heavy? I don't know enough to have a smart answer about it, but that's the way I would view it. Unless they are like top heavy and it's important to get like the group at the top.
Mm-hmm. So we have 15 seconds. We have a couple pitchers towards the top of the board. We have some infielders. Anywhere you want to lean here?
Carlos Correa.
Correa sounds good. I don't mind that infielder. So we're going to be back.
I'm only grabbing like former Astros players that I had no idea were on new teams, like Correa and Springer.
Gotcha. So what we're going to do?
The cheating squad for best ball teams.
So I'm going to grab another Colorado guy in hockey. We are back on the clock in baseball.
That's 5. Do we see pitcher? I don't know if we wait either.
8 seconds.
Is Yu Darvish still good?
Good question. Let's do it.
No, Yu Darvish.
He's projecting 1,177 points. I like that projection. That looks fun.
He used to be able to throw strikeouts. I don't know if he does anymore.
Well, he's gonna for us this year because he's on Team Draftcathlon and he must. So we're gonna grab Swayman for a goalie because we don't have one. Unless you have something else you'd like to do here.
Swayman is my favorite player, actually. So
I figured
Swayman, and then we have the Colorado defender that we drafted. That I'm testing the chat if they remember his name to defend him. So good. Sounds like a strong team.
So we have a Boston and Colorado stack going in hockey. So if we get the Boston Colorado finals, we win all the money.
And those are obviously, in opposite conferences. So.
Yeah. So we're smart.
It's a question mark.
What we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who thought that we were going to fuck this up? Not me. Can I say the F word? Probably.
It's your stream. I used to be a big hockey fan, really back in the day when the Stars were in Stanley Cup playoffs, and hung around for like 5 to 10 years after, through the Bill Guerin era and whatnot. And now I watch a little bit when they're in the playoffs. I will become a Stars fan again, but regular season again, I just don't watch much sports, honestly, because I'm off seasoned out by then. But NFL end of the year, I'm just tired. I'm literally just tired.
Oh, man, it's a big even if you're not doing everything that you do, which you do a ton of stuff. If you're just playing hard every week on NFL and intaking content and getting projections and everything, you're beat by the end of the year. I
respect the grind by everyone. Yeah,
it's tough. We are back on the clock in football.
Okay. Let's look at quarterbacks really quick.
We got Wentz, we got Malik Willis, we got Goff.
Let's wait again. Running back and wide receiver.
We are looking at, it's like the Montgomery.
Elijah Mitchell. Let's go Elijah Mitchell.
I like Mitchell.
And then look at wide receiver.
So it's Hollywood, it's Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis.
I'm just trying to figure out stacks here. Can I look at the team really quick again?
Yes, I need to.
Brady, Daniel Jones. It's okay.
McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell's. We got 13 seconds in hockey.
Gabriel Davis for Buffalo. Let's go ahead and start a mini Buffalo stack and screw the Josh Allen guy. Josh Allen doesn't need either of them, but.
All right, I'm going to grab us a second goalie. I don't know if that's good or bad. This is the one thing that
Tristan Jerry, actually. So there you go.
Yeah, sweet. So the one thing we were trying to figure out on the last one, what do you do with goalies? Like, are they ones that you just drop one and you're done? Or like, I should have looked more into this answer, because we were trying to cheat and look at everybody else's team and see what they were drafting. And like, there was guys like all over the place. So I think what we do here is we draft Charlie McAvoy for Boston, and we just keep building on that Boston Colorado stack and just hope it hits. That gives us a defenseman.
Do you think people automatically stack their goalie with their offensive stack, or like would it then be contrarian? Would it be optimal at all to try to get the goalie from one conference and the stack from the other? Does that make any sense?
It makes sense. I just don't know if that's optimal or not. It could definitely be. I think we kind of did that a little bit because our heavy draft capital was with Colorado, and we grabbed the Boston goalie. So even though we have the Boston stack, all of our draft capital went towards Colorado, right? So not exactly what you're saying, but sort of like that, where
I don't really know what I'm saying either, so that's fine. I'm just trying to figure it all out. Piecing together the best strategies for new sports is so interesting.
It's tough, but like I do exactly what you did when you were talking about baseball. You were like, well, isn't outfield the running back position? And that's the way I try to look at things. I know it's not always a 1-for-1, but I think I think what we proved with doing these is as long as you understand structure, your teams are generally going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Beimfor about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, my mom knows nothing about football, right? Like barely anything. But if I sat her down with ADPs and I said, you have to draft 2 quarterbacks, this many running backs, this many wide receivers.
Baseball. Not to cut your mother off. I'm sure she's a lovely woman.
She's going to be so mad at you. All right. What do we want to do here? We have...
What do we need? Yeah.
Angels. We have a mini Toronto stack going. We have...
We are not doing good at stacking at all.
No, we are really ruining.
And none of the guys at the top are our guys. Oh God, we got 5 seconds. Click Rendon. That's going to give us Ohtani. And then, okay, we got a minute there.
All right.
Oh shit, we're about to get drafted here. Just click somebody.
So let's just grab this guy. Actually, let's grab a wing. I don't know what we grabbed. We grabbed something. We are back on the clock in baseball. Where do we want to go with a pitcher for Miami? We already have one Miami pitcher. I don't know if that's good.
That is a good question, because then you would never have them overlap on the same day.
Let's do it.
Sure.
It might be bad.
Trying new strategies out.
Yeah, that might be bad. I don't like. So that's an interesting thing, because I don't know how to like equate that to a different sport like football. Like stacking 2 pitchers like that. How good or bad can that be? But what my last point, because I'm all over the place right now, is if you give somebody that knows nothing about a sport and you give them the basic structure and you say, just follow these ADPs,
like your mother,
like my mother, and I'm just like, here, draft the team. And I hand you that team, you'd be like, maybe it's not stacked, but it's not like the worst team ever, right? You have to go out of your way to draft a bad team. Like you have to draft 5 quarterbacks with 10 running backs or something like that. If you give somebody a basic structure on what type of roster to draft for these, I think their teams are always going to be decent at worst, in my opinion.
If you gave me options before and said, like, this is what like some winning players are doing, and even if I had like 5 or 6 optimal ways, I could piece it together for sure. I could figure it out. I'd be like, yeah, okay, like I like this, but then I actually like doing this instead of this because maybe it does this. Yeah, that's what I like, having like some notes and then like beautiful minding it and trying to like compile what I think is best.
And honestly, we're even doing that in sports that we know, right? So like we still do that in football. We're still trying to figure out what the best type of best ball strategy is. Like everyone's still arguing about that, and they're going to be arguing about it for years.
Well, especially because, you know, we've only had 2 major Millie tournaments on Underdog, and different strategies were used to win both. And so now it's like, okay, when we have both this data from 2020 and 2021, what do we do next? Like, what do we do now? And each year the field gets smarter too. So,
right. So we're going to be coming up on the clock in football in one pick.
And Natural Shooter just took our 3rd quarterback, Goff. I was going to grab him. It's okay.
So let's just see what's on the quarterback is gross. So it's Baker, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, it's Kenny Pickett, it's Drew Lock. It's pretty brutal at the quarterback position now, and we're only in the 9th round. This is what makes these super flexes pretty.
All right. Tough. Well, let's see. Running back is a disaster. Well, we got Singletary. Okay, let's go Singletary, and then I think I need to go. Oh God, I think I need to go Pickett. Would you go Pickett or wait here for quarterback?
I would probably wait.
Okay, look at wide receiver then. You're already there. And then, Tony, we had Daniel Jones.
Oh, okay. We're back to back. I'm sitting here freaking out.
No, you're good.
Right. Yeah, we're good.
Still off that. Let's see what comes back to us on quarterback. Where it's probably a 4 QB team, and then I usually do 3 or 4 tight ends whenever I wait this long.
Gotcha. All right, so let's just go over our basketball team real quick. We drafted a 5-3-2 team. We drafted Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Jalen Brunson was our auto pick at the end, I believe. Draymond Green, Cam Johnson, Scotty Barnes, Brooke Lopez, JaVale McGee. So we got the Phoenix, we got Golden State, and then we got a Milwaukee mini stack going as well. So
someone in the chat who does a lot of basketball drafts, tell us if 5-3-2 is good.
Yes, somebody tell us if 5-3-2 is good. So I'm going to X that out.
Relief off the shoulders.
So now we're going to drop football down so that we can actually see some stuff here. I am going to look at our hockey team.
Colorado stat.
Yep. So these are the names I can never do. So Nazem Kadri, Steven Stamkos, Patrice Bergeron are our centers. Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, Brad Marchand, Kevin Fiala. Those are our wingers. Our defensemen are Devin Taves, Samuel Girard, Charlie McAvoy, and then our goalies are Swayman and Tristan Jarry.
Colorado, Boston. Okay, I can work with that.
Yeah, somebody let us know if that's any good.
It's not, but that's okay.
We are on the clock next in baseball, and now we can see stuff. Now we're down to the 2.
I'm not sure it helps with baseball. We need to do more than see stuff, but
hey, at least I can see more than 3 players now, and we can visualize what we're going to be doing, going forward. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. But so right now we can actually see our roster too, which is nice. So we have 3 pitchers, we have 3 infielders, and we have 3 outfielders. Probably bad. Probably shouldn't be going so even, but
agree. So let's just fade outfield moving forward. I don't know. And then go.
Where do you want to go with this pick? Because we have 5 seconds.
Swanson, sure.
All right, so we'll take Swanson in the infield. There's a ton of pitchers up towards the top right now. So it's Evaldi, Bassett, Gilbert, Flaherty, and Valdez.
We don't have any offenses with them really either. I didn't even know Jared Weaver still pitches down there. Or no, that's not Jared Weaver. That's Jared Walsh. Okay.
Do we have any Miami bats around here? No. So that's bad. So we're gonna auto draft. Whoops.
Sure.
We got Evaldi.
I've heard of Evaldi.
I only know him because he plays for the Red Sox, to be honest. That's the only reason I even know that name.
Are the Red Sox supposed to be good this year?
Maybe. I think they're always supposed to be good just based on their payroll. So they're one of those teams that even when they're bad, they're supposed to be good, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Who has the highest payroll? Do you know? Is it like Minnesota? Didn't Minnesota make some crazy deals?
Minnesota did. Was it the Correa deal, the big one that they did, or was it somebody else?
Didn't they also trade for like Josh Donaldson?
Yeah. They're stacking up that team, so they might be the highest. I know the Red Sox are one of the down. They're down for them. I think the Yankees are not the highest like they normally are.
Dodgers, I know, are high. I saw
Dodgers might be the highest.
I saw the difference from the Dodgers to the Orioles was 210 million to 30 million, which tells you maybe we should have a salary cap.
Are we doing that rookie sophomore now? No, because our brains are already fried. Sorry.
Even though I provided nothing in hockey, brain's still fried.
Listen, just reading the names in hockey can fry your brain because it's so difficult. Confirm Coakley's mother's teams are RB. Probably. I mean, she likes to win money too, so big gambler. So she probably likes 0 RB. It would make sense for her.
Kazee was also in the ETR Millie established the million chats every Saturday morning with Dink and Leone because I'd wake up early and watch those streams as well.
Nice. What's waking up early for you on a Sunday?
It just depends. I'm not a good sleeper. Like I can tell you how to live an optimal life, but it's more of a practice as I say, not as I do thing.
Right.
And so like my partner is always just like, get the fuck away, because I'll sometimes like wake up like at 4:30 or 5 and I'll just get up and like I'll start working or reading or something because I know I can't go back to sleep. So I've never slept well, unfortunately.
See, I've gotten into a routine because my dog will not let me sleep past like 6:30 a.m. So
that's a healthy time. That's okay.
Yeah, it works. We are on the clock in football.
All right, we got to stack Russell Gage with Tom Brady. That just already stands out at the top.
Oh, I love it. And
then let's keep looking here.
Just bring everybody on screen real quick. We have plenty of time to look this up. So are you looking at Mayfield or Garoppolo? Because they're kind of the same guy right now, right? Where we think they're going to get traded. They might end up on a roster as a starter somewhere.
Mayfield would be really Seattle. Sure. Mayfield would that's the only team really. It keeps dabbling and talking about him.
Yeah.
So if he ends with Seattle, he's a starter. If not, he's a backup. That's the issue.
Yeah, but backup where? Where would he accept being going to is my thing. Like it's such a weird situation for him.
Perfect question. I'm looking down this list though, because we need a receiver. We might just get auto drafted Baker.
I grabbed Lazard.
Okay, cool.
It was the first receiver I could see.
Okay, I was about to say, why'd you grab Lazard over MVS? Even though I don't hate it, but it's fine.
I would have preferred MVS, to be honest with you. I just looked for yellow and just snagged the star.
Not that anyone's actually asking for real football analysis on this show, since it's been chaos. But the only issue with Lazard, because I have heard Lazard touted, is he had 8 touchdowns on 40 catches last year, and that's not like something he's ever done. He's never been like a touchdown producer, even going back to college. And so it was clearly an anomaly season. So even though he does step into more opportunity, I definitely worry, especially if he gets steamed up eventually to be like a top 38 receiver. And that's kind of where I think he's going to end up eventually. So unless of course the Packers add not 1, but 2 receivers in the draft, which seems like it could at least has a chance.
So my hot take is they're adding Julio. That just feels like the team that's going to go and just overpay for Julio Jones.
So if he does end up there. Maybe it's a change of tune. Maybe Aaron Rodgers makes him take life serious or whatever. But this doesn't go back to the Titans and Mike Vrabel hating Julio because his practice ethics. We've heard, like some of us have heard behind the scenes for a couple of years now, that after his last big contract with the Falcons, like Julio has been, and take this for what it's worth, maybe it's worth nothing, but Julio's been pretty checked out. Like he's pretty happy in life right now, which is why like his work ethic behind the scenes, which is why Vrabel hates him, has just like dragged on the last couple seasons. So no matter where Julio goes, I will not be drafting him whatsoever. I was not high on him last year either. And so we'll see if that comes back to bite me in the ass later on.
I mean, it could if everyone has that like little resurgence and maybe he wants to go out on top. But to your point, like once you get into that mindset, it's so hard to turn away from it, right? I mean, I think we've all been, we're not NFL stars that are making millions and millions of dollars, but we've all been at a job where like once we checked out of that job, it was going to take an entire culture change of the entire corporation to even make us think about wanting to be back on board.
Some say you might even go to a different company. Yeah.
Right.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah. So it does happen. I see what you did there. So we are coming on the clock in baseball. So we have a 4-4-3 build going right now.
I know you know Chris Sale.
I do. I know
there's a Miami guy. I know we're trying to stack Miami.
Let's do that. Let's go Miami.
There's also an LA. No, it's a pitcher. Yeah, let's do Miami. But then we also have another pick because remember it's back to back. So
yeah,
let that run out. Use their time. Wait, you checked Rosario. There you go.
Because of the pick, it screwed me up. But we're good. We got him. So we're gonna take Chisholm for an infielder. And do we want to take Syndergaard with having Rendon and Ohtani?
Sure.
Do we want to go pitcher with our hitters?
I have no idea if it helps or not. I don't know.
I don't know if that. So that's another one that's weird. So pitchers are like a weird fantasy position, like in terms of like just against any other sport, because they're so opposite of the rest of the team that it feels like they don't matter.
I feel like I need to send this team to like Vlad Sedler after this so he can be disgusted by it. He can vomit. He can vomit on it and be like, what are you doing?
What was this? just like, dude, you have no idea. You have no idea what we were doing here.
All right. We're coming up in football as well. We're still trying to plan this accordingly. I think we're pretty much done with receiver, honestly.
Yep.
Strong 7. Like Lazard's our 7. We're good there.
Yep. So we are pretty much all good on wideouts. So
probably only going to go 5 RBs. Let's play around with it. Yeah, Baker's still sitting there. I got to draft Baker. I have to.
All right, we'll take him if he's still there. Hopefully we don't get stream sniped by one of these guys.
Don't you do it.
Auto draft.
Let us have this team isn't even that good, to be honest. Like, let us have this team.
There goes Tanyan. There goes DJ Chark.
I don't mind Tanyan either.
Well, Tanyan just went.
He's in that bunch of just late round tight ends that I think are totally viable. We do this every year, but honestly, there are a bunch of guys who are every down athletes and every down players who are just stuck there at the end now.
Is there anyone in these class, this round, like this 13th, 14th round for tight ends that you like more than anyone? We are on the clock. I'm just going to start Baker.
Yep. Go to tight end. I can tell you because we probably need to start drafting them. I can usually tell by the range we're in.
So we're looking at.
Oh, this is too early. It's too early.
Too early?
Yeah. Njoku's still like considered a tight end 12 by many, not by me. And so Noah Fan is like, it's still too early. I usually wait to go dumpster diving because I think there are a lot of opportunities there.
So you want to take a look at running backs, I'm guessing?
Yep. And for me, it would be either Darrell Henderson, Khalil Herbert, or Gus Edwards.
I like Herbert a lot, to be honest with you.
Herbert.
I was big on Chicago last year, as everyone knows. And I'm starting to cool off on them a little bit. I think the Calvin Ridley thing, this is going to be like a long way around, but I think the Calvin Ridley thing really screwed Chicago because I think they were going to add a second, like real viable wide receiver. And I think they were the odd team out after Calvin Ridley wasn't able to get traded or whatever. And because who was Ridley being touted as going to? Philly. So I just think that Chicago was going to actively pursue a second wide receiver to put next to Mooney. And I was going to love Chicago if that happened. But now it's just Mooney and Kmet with Justin Fields, which isn't terrible. They just have to draft somebody early.
And I also somewhat think like it's early in his career, but I've always thought Kmet is a pretty overrated athlete, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I can name more pieces I want on the Falcons than the Bears. I genuinely think the Bears have the worst roster in the entire NFL. The offensive line is still a major concern for Justin Fields. And so I'm genuinely worried about the Bears, but also in that case, with new coaching and everything as well, like we don't know David Montgomery's exact role if he's going to be a bell cow. This is not the regime that tied themselves to him. So whether Herbert has a role or not, he's at least a backup and is our RB4. And we assume we have 3 strong RBs atop him. That's all that matters to me.
So I know you wanted to go quarterback earlier. When you're doing these super flexes, what is your optimal quarterback? If you could, because it depends. Obviously, it clearly depends on where you draft from.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get the spot that you want, how many quarterbacks are you taking? Like 3 in the first 5 rounds? What is your general? What do you think is the most optimal way?
Life feels easier whenever you grab 2 strong ones out the gates. But honestly, 0 QB or like anchor QB is kind of fun. It's just a matter of I've had good drafts where I feel like the pieces are strong. I think it's better if you get the exact players, wide receivers and running backs you want, and then it looks sexier. But if like there are some strays, like if we had someone else that we knew we wanted, like MVS instead of Alan Lazard, like look at the wide receivers. That's pretty awesome, honestly. Yeah. We would take that all the time. And so 0 QB would be the one. And so, yeah, I've actually been enjoying 0 QB and stacking 4 quarterbacks instead, as long as like your 4th one isn't someone we think is going to sit out the entire year, like a Drew Lock or someone like that. I have much more confidence in. I don't even like any of the quarterbacks, by the way. I don't like Malik Willis. I don't like Kenny Pickett. I think they're all bad, and I think we've been spoiled the past couple of years.
I'm the same way.
But I still think they're going to start, and that's what's important. And so even like a Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis, a Desmond Ridder, who I think is going to be drafted in the first round, got some steam today. I think it's going to get steamed even more over the next couple of weeks. Then I'm totally fine taking them. I was going to take Ridder on this team too, honestly.
I'm a lot aligned with you on that. I do like drafting from the 4 spot and getting 2 early quarterbacks if I get that 4. But other than that, yeah, I've been pushing QB after I get my big one. We are on the clock in baseball. We have
I don't even know how many rounds are in baseball.
it's a 20 rounder.
Okay, so we have 13.
5-5-3. Yep. So we're 5-5-3 right now. I know we want to be doing like some sort of 6-7-6 thing.
All right. Well, there's a pitcher at the top.
Let's do
John
that.
Gray. We got some Texas players. There you go.
So we'll take John Gray, and we will. I don't know, man. Do you want to just take one more pitcher and be done with them?
Sure. I hear 6 something is the way to go. So.
Yeah. 7. Let's grab another. Do you prefer? Let's just grab McCullers from Houston. Let's do it.
Sure.
Sounds right.
Hold on. Let's try the. Let's do the multiple pitchers thing with Patrick Sandoval. Did we already get it? No big deal. It's okay.
No, we ended up grabbing an infielder. We grabbed Cronenworth.
Don't we have 6 infielders now? Yeah, 6-6. See?
Yeah. That was all planned. Don't worry, guys. We're on top of this thing. Yeah. So like, I like drafting. My favorite spot in the super flexes right now is the 4, and the reason I love that is I think there's 4 big quarterbacks in these drafts. Obviously, it's Mahomes, Herbert, Josh Allen, and Lamar. And I love just getting whoever falls to that 4th spot and just coming around on that back end and getting. I've gotten Jamar Chase in the 2nd round there. Like that 2nd round, you're getting these guys that shouldn't be there, and you're stacking them with one of the top quarterbacks. So pushing that 2nd quarterback spot makes it a lot easier when you're getting talent like that in the 2nd and 3rd round. We are on the clock in football. And are you ready to be looking at tight end?
Yes, we need tight ends.
Right. So we got Fant, Ingram, Everett. Kind of. Then we start looking at like Hayden Hurst, which is an interesting one.
Oh, these are bad. Let's go Evan Ingram.
That's where I would have went.
Since they for some reason gave Will Dissly 3 years, $24 million. And then it's not necessary. Well, let's go Noah Fant just in case Baker does get traded to Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that. He's always looked for his tight ends to begin with, so it just makes sense.
We're gonna probably grab 2 more here.
You want to go with a 4 tight end build?
Well, we actually need a 3rd quarterback just in case, or 4th quarterback.
Well, sir, I have the 4th quarterback for you that I love back here.
Well, I already said Desmond Ridder, so I can't wait for you to tell me who it is.
Oh, we'll grab Ridder if Ridder's there when we come back.
No, I mean, if you have a quarterback, we can co-tag team this.
So for me, as a lot of the chat is about to start yelling at me, but I grab Tyler Hundley in the 19th round pretty much every single draft. And I just think my personal opinions on it, to make it short, is yes, he's the backup. Yes, he's not going to be getting traded or anything like that. But the contingent value for Tyler Huntley, I think he's the number 1 backup quarterback in the league because of what he can bring to your fantasy team if something were to happen to Lamar. And we're already like really throwing darts in the 19th and 20th round to begin with. So I'm throwing a dart at a guy that has, top 5, 10 every week upside as a quarterback. It's most likely going to end up in me taking a 0, but in a super flex draft, I don't mind doing it personally.
That's why I think that's why we should be fading Mark Andrews, but I'm also trying to still figure it out. And my best ball tiers come out next week on 4-4, by the way. They'll be free for everyone, at least the first run. Post draft update, I'm not sure just yet. That's going to be on their end. But Mark Andrews is an interesting player because we want to fade him since he was so accurate on, in particular, targets of 10 plus yards from Huntley and not Lamar Jackson. Marquise Brown was the opposite, whereas the splits with Lamar Jackson were amazing for Marquise Brown. That's when he was a top 12 fantasy receiver, literally. And then with Huntley, he was terrible. But at the same time, tight end sucks so much. It's almost like even the floor, even the regression of Mark Andrews is better than these bums. So I'm still like in the mix about where to put him. Yeah,
he's a tough one. I mean, I haven't gotten a lot of Mark Andrews just because his price is just so high right now.
Everyone. That's the fun thing about best ball. Until everyone stops drafting last year's stats, there's always going to be an edge. Everyone loves last year's stats. This is my argument right now for. Well, I'll tell you in a second. Let's go to baseball.
Let's do this baseball.
All right, so we have 6-6, and then we need something. So let's just start stacking outfielders here.
Okay.
Do you have any particular that stand out to you?
Nothing completes any of our oh, well, we can get another San Diego guy. We have 1 San Diego guy, so we just do a bunch of mini stacks here where we grab 2 Padres. I don't know if that's good or not. Probably not.
Padres were good last year, right?
Yeah.
Or they were supposed to be good.
And we have one of the Padre pitchers with Yu Darvish, so hey, maybe that's good. So we'll do that. And I'll let you pick the baseball guy now. Whatever you want to do here, I am fine with.
I know we need outfielders. That's all I know. So why don't we just go? Who does Andrew Vaughn at the very bottom play for?
Andrew Vaughn plays for the White Sox.
I mean, I live near there, so let's just go there. That's the best tournament winning reason you're ever gonna have.
If Liam won $1 million because he just refused not to draft Josh Allen, then we can draft a Chicago White Sox player.
That's going to be me. Hopefully me on DraftKings with Bryson. It's like, man, I can't get away from it. He's like 3%. No one wants to play him. He's not injured. He's just a showman. He does this. It's always something with him. And now the course has been lengthened to 7,600 yards. Like, God, I want to play him. It's going to wreck me the next 48 hours. I know. That's it.
How deep are you into the master stuff for this week?
Very deep. I'm pretty much fully done. Because we have the show, shameless plug, Best First Media on YouTube channel. Go watch it. We're fortunate enough to have Ryan Noonan, Ron Kloss, PG Splits 101. He's like, I genuinely think he's the sharpest guy in all of golf. No offense to any golf. His data is incredible. And my good friend, Derek Farnsworth, Notorious. On the show. So like we had a great conversation today about Masters DFS. Went an hour long. We touched on literally, I think, everything anyone needs to know, including like, can I play Corey Connors and Tiger Woods in $1 million, a top heavy payout since they're the chalk? Even though Derek actually thinks that Tiger Woods is going to be like in, $200 single entries, $1,200 single entries on FanDuel. He thinks Tiger Woods is going to be like 8%. And I didn't see that coming. So I'm confused now.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big golf guy, but everything I'm seeing with the Tiger stuff is it makes it a lot easier to win money, right? Because he's not going to win anything. But people love to play those guys. They love to play Tiger Woods. So
I want to play Tiger Woods because I love to play Tiger Woods. And I
Right.
just thought I couldn't because of his ownership. But apparently there may not be ownership unless you go down to like the Millie. That's okay. I don't want to play Tiger in the Millie. But like if
Right.
you're telling me in my single entries I can play Tiger, like, okay, now we're talking. So his club head speed, I don't know if you know this much about golf, but his
No.
club head speed was 171 in December. For instance, John Rahm has a 176 average club head speed. And so like Tiger, that was December. Tiger's just fine, honestly. He's going to play. He's going to compete. I genuinely think so. And that's what I'm kind of worried about with him. But I don't know.
All right, let's hit on football real quick.
Yeah, we're not doing golf best ball.
So we got 15 seconds left on our first football pick.
We got to do a tight end again. Let's just grab I want to grab Mo Alley Cox. I like Mo Alley Cox better than Austin Hooper.
All right, so we'll grab Mo Alley Cox.
No Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle leaves behind 21 tight end routes per game, and then we expect him to get more efficient targets from Matt Ryan. That's the explanation. And then
I love Dearness Johnson here personally, but we can do.
We do need a fifth running back more than Let's go Dearness Johnson. You're right.
I just think he is in
an
absolute great position this year, and the value on him in all these drafts. Another guy that if I can get him in the 18th round, I'm probably overexposed to him.
There's a chance Kareem Hunt is cut as well. Like,
yeah,
I'm definitely think my two hottest cut takes. I don't even know if Kareem Hunt's a hot take. I think there's a chance Saquon Barkley may get cut too. They've already tried to trade him. Of course, no one wants him, because 2 years off injured and an expiring contract for a running back is like not good, but they can actually save $7.2 million by just shedding his dead weight. And that's not the regime that's tied to him. They don't want him. They're trying to literally get rid of every player from the Joe Judge, Dave Gettleman era. And so I genuinely think if he shows up to camp, like not healthy whatsoever, there's a real chance they just move on.
Willis says, dang, I'm late. Can't wait to watch this from start. Love this the first time. Well, good, because you love to watch me panic. So that's what that is. But I appreciate you watching.
So I admittedly had not had time to watch the first one. How is this one going in comparison?
I think you and Eric handled this very well. You were able to both give as many takes as you could.
A lot going on.
But it's a lot going on. You do what you can with it, right? We're here for the chaos, and chaos is going to ensue. But I think this went fine. What did you think of it? Tell me after we do these baseball picks how you feel about doing a Draftcathlon.
This baseball stuff doesn't. It's just like real baseball. It doesn't ever end.
It doesn't end.
It just keeps on going.
It goes perfectly. I got hired for Spike Week doing a baseball video, and it was about me not knowing baseball and just them lasting forever. So I hit the nail on the head on it.
Let's go ahead and grab two outfielders.
Yep.
None of the top ones are with our stacks. That's always great.
Nope, and none of the lower ones are either.
Just include outfield, yeah.
Let's just look at outfield. Just grab what you want. We don't care about ADP.
Aaron Hicks still plays baseball. That's amazing.
That's fun.
Gosh, yeah, none of these guys are our guys. Let's just go to the top. Yeah,
we're gonna grab Santander.
It's definitely a misspelling, right? It's Santander. I've never heard that.
That's my bank.
Oh, I know Jock Peterson. Let's go Jock Peterson.
All right, let's go Jock Peterson. Perfect. Boom. Done.
Beautiful.
All right. So we got one more baseball pick after this, so that's about done. What did you think of doing a Draftcathlon? How did you feel about it?
We didn't really offer anything on the hockey side. That's the issue. And that one happened last, and we were still the most confused about it. Basketball, I feel like we navigated it well. I'm okay with basketball. I'm comfortable. I'm not expecting to win, but if we did compete, I wouldn't be too shocked, honestly. Thought it was fun, especially just stacking opposite teams from teams from opposite conferences that can compete. I know enough about basketball to know the West is weak. So, of course, the Suns could go back. Right. And then that it's Giannis. That's all we need to know, right? So, of course, the Bucks can go. And then football, I think we're struggling here. I think the big picture takeaways is what I always tell people on my streams. Big picture takeaways, live streams are tough to get them right. We didn't really stack that well. But I think there are some important notes for everyone heard throughout the show, maybe, that they can take away to their next draft.
Yeah, it's not a team that like I look at and I'm in love with, but there are things that I do like about it. We have the Brady Russell Gage stack, which I think is going to be, it'd probably be popular, but I do like that stack. We have the Baker with Noah Fant, that if we hit on that trade being accurate, I love that pairing. And we have Jones with Kadarius Toney. So we ended up getting all stacked quarterbacks, which is,
well, and remember I still like, and this is what I do in DFS too, because it goes overlooked a lot. I like secondary stacks. So we have Singletary, Diggs, Davis. That's important. That's a massive, like, number one offense in the NFL secondary stack. I love those because you can do those all the time without the quarterback. And so I totally think that one's fine too. And then I think we're about to add to this stack. I'm about to tell you another player that I like a lot. I don't want to ruin it just yet. Click on tight end.
Gross. So at the top of the
gross.
Smith, OJ Howard, Adam Troutman, Harrison Bryant. That's kind of what we're looking at in this range right now at tight end.
Did Cameron Brate get drafted?
Did Cam Brate get drafted?
If so, Hayden Wink's already like ruined this for everyone. Search. Can you search real quick?
Yeah, I can. Is there someone we want to star before we search though? Did you want McKenzie for that stack?
I don't think we need another water. I think we need another quarterback, honestly.
Okay. Where do you want to go for quarterback? Do you want to grab Hundley?
Yes, let's go grab Hundley. I would usually go Hundley or Bridgewater, since there's no guarantee Tua starts every game. Yeah, he was drafted.
Yep. Brate was gone.
Well, a sneaky stack. Okay, the rest is no idea.
Want to go with Sterling Shepard and add to the Daniel Jones stack?
Sure. I don't necessarily like
we don't really need a wide out though.
Yeah, I think we need another tight end, honestly. We just got to make sure we always have someone. But all these guys suck is the issue. I mean, we got OJ Howard.
I almost grabbed Howard, but
that's okay. It's fine.
I just topped the list because I get nervous. So
I just like to make sure with 4 quarterbacks, whenever those positions are trash, I just like to have 4 to cover my ass.
I don't hate it. I don't always go that route myself. I am usually grabbing some sort of tight end early, but I have these builds where I'm only grabbing 3, and I think grabbing a 4th might be something that I look into doing a little more.
And honestly, I only do that because, we could have added another running back, yes. Well, when you look at wide receiver, what receiver right now would honestly play for us? This is strong. These receivers are incredible.
Right. And we're only starting technically 2 wide receiver spots. And I think that gets missed sometimes.
That's why I don't like 8. Yeah.
So our game plan is to probably be starting 3 wide receivers, 1 in a flex, and then starting 2 quarterbacks is what we would typically like to do. But this type of team, I wouldn't be shocked if we're seeing us still start 4 of our wide receivers on multiple weeks here and there.
I'm sure when you look back, there will be teams in here that started 3 QBs early and they're in the lead right now. But yes, I feel like we'll always have a strong wide receiver to at least combat that quarterback.
Yeah. And that's another reason why I've been doing the hero QB that you were talking about earlier is I think you can just get so strong at the wide receiver spot that you make up for it there. So we are going to be taking our last baseball pick. So I think we need another pitcher. And anyone that you like here? We finished football. I didn't even realize that was the 20th round.
Good. Also, that hacker in the chat is telling me Barkley's all dead money. Maybe that is the case. Maybe I need to look back at it once more just to make sure. It's been a busy offseason, so it wouldn't shock me if I overlooked something.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Strasburg in Washington because
I know him.
I know him.
Does he still only pitch like 2 games a year?
Maybe. That's probably why
he's like Will Fuller of baseball.
It's probably why
he wins you those games he plays.
All right, so let's just go over our teams real quick. Let's hit the baseball team first. Is this the one we did? It is not. Let's do our football team since this other one didn't
sure
didn't populate.
It may still be loading.
Yeah, it happens. So we have Brady, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, and Tyler Huntley at quarterback. CMC, Elijah Mitchell, Devin Singletary, Khalil Herbert, and Dearness Johnson. I actually don't hate our backfield at all.
I don't either.
I think I think it's deceptively strong. Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen, Gabriel Davis, Kadarius Toney, Russell Gage, Alan Lazard. I wish I grabbed MVS instead of Lazard.
And honestly, even the player, like you said, you didn't like Keenan Allen. The thing is, though, we did it really quickly, but also Keenan Allen doesn't kill you, right? Like his ADP may be off for regression, but honestly, like Keenan Allen's just fine. He's never going to hurt you.
I don't hate Allen. I just haven't been grabbing a lot of them.
Because his ADP is off. Yeah, it's still going too high.
Right. But I don't hate him. I like Ingram a lot this year. I think that the Jaguars are doing what they need to do for their quarterback, and I think Ingram's a great piece for them and great in terms of what they were able to add. Like they obviously didn't go get a Kyle Pitts because that's not available. I think they did what they could for him and put a lot of pieces around him. I like Ingram. I don't love him, but when we're grabbing tight ends this late, he's one of the guys I've been grabbing around the spot.
And when you wait on tight end, clearly with Evan Ingram, Noah Fant, Mo Alley Cox, and Jonnu Smith, even though we waited, even though we then grabbed 4 to protect ourselves, knowing we waited, I can't guarantee you any of these guys should still put up 3 points in any week. I have no idea. So that's why you grab 4 when you wait. I like waiting. I think it's actually optimal. At the same time, you need to make sure you protect your ass because it gets dicey.
Right. All right. So it was Ingram. It was Noah Fant, Mo Alley Cox, Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith was kind of a panic grab as well.
We were about to grab OJ Howard. So what's the difference? Who cares?
Right.
It's fine.
Jonnu Smith's a fullback, but we'll be fine. So Sandy Alcantara, Hugh Darvish, Trevor Rogers, Nathan Eovaldi, Noah Syndergaard, John Gray, Steven Strasburg. Someone tell us if this team's any good. Marcus Simeon, Carlos Correa, Anthony Rendon, Dansby Swanson, Jazz Chisholm, what a name, Jr., Jay Cronenworth for infielders, Otani, George Springer, Teoscar Hernandez, Will Myers, Andrew Vaughn, Andrew Santander, and Jock Peterson for our outfield. Looks great. Looks like a perfect baseball team, in my opinion.
I think it's not bad, honestly. Yeah. I mean, as far as I know about baseball, the 2 guys we drafted.
We got a lot of mini stacks in there. We probably want to stack teams a little bit more than we did, but under the chaos, I'm fine with it. Any other takeaways from doing a draftcathlon?
Don't do a draftcathlon. I don't know what else to tell you.
It's tough.
Again, you offer something unique, and I'm an adventurous person. Sometimes it doesn't go right. And honestly, maybe this one was just fine. We got 2 out of 4, I feel like, and that's okay. I'll take 2 out of 4.
I think we were fine. Anyways, if you liked what we're doing here, well, first of all, you've had a lot of changes in the offseason. Why don't you do some plugs on where I know you did a few in the show, but let everyone know where they can find you.
Oh, the easy ones. I'll help everyone out. I like helping the people out because y'all are all my friends. So 1, The Most Accurate Podcast. If you type that in on iTunes or Spotify, that's where I talk fantasy now every Thursday. It's about to become another podcast. It's about to be Move the Line, where I'll talk betting NFL on Wednesday and then fantasy on The Most Accurate Podcast on Thursday. So get ahead, subscribe to those. A rate and review if you feel like doing that also helps because it's a new era. They had never done 4 for 4, 2 episodes every week during the offseason, where I've done that for the last 3 years of my life. So creating content, all these ideas that happen in best ball, the draft, personnel, all these are nothing new to me. So we're going to go strong throughout the offseason. I'm excited about it. It's a new era, genuinely. And then more importantly, if you're watching this and for whatever reason you don't have an Underdog account now, I'm going to let everyone win, because if you want a free 4 for 4 sub, you can literally just go to Underdog, and when you deposit $10, that's it, right? You have to sign up, deposit $10, use the promo code 4 for 4, and you get not only a free 4 for 4 sub, but also a deposit match from our friends at Underdog up to $100, 100% match. There you go. Free money. Great.
That is a great promo
also,
code. Very
quickly, if you, let's say you don't want 4 for 4 football and you instead want BetSports Golf, because there is this thing going around called the Masters this week. Yep. Okay. Sign up for Underdog. Use the promo code BetSports Golf. You then get a free BetSports Golf sub, which is $200. Like it's expensive, and you get it for free just for signing up for Underdog and then depositing $10 plus the deposit match. It's literally $300 for free. Literally, all you need to do is be a new subscriber to Underdog. So right now, tell your wife and child you're driving across state lines to make a new account. Do it. You get the gas money back for that $300. And then also you have our picks for the Masters. So easy money.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. When you do it, like he said, make sure you rate, subscribe, review. You guys don't understand how much that really helps sites like us. And
the algo on iTunes is a son of a bitch. Yeah, you gotta rate, review, and subscribe. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm dealing with it on a couple shows, and one of them is popping, and I can tell you it'll help us a ton. So please make sure you rate, subscribe, review all of Daigle stuff, the Spike Week stuff. Until next time, we will see you again. Later, everyone.